Hey everyone, Too Tired here, and I'm having a great day because today I get to talk to you guys about one of my favorite things to do in the world, and that's buying a motorcycle like this one. Today I'm going to hop on my bike, I'm going to do a motovlog for you guys, and I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of buying a new motorcycle versus buying a used motorcycle to help you guys come up with a plan to get you on two wheels. Let's do it! Alright, so here we are. I'm going to take you guys for a drive down the scenic Saskatchewan River. And we're going to talk about buying motorcycles. So, probably the first thing you guys are going to be saying is, well, Too Tired, this video is kind of silly because I can't afford a new motorcycle, which I'm going to talk about that a little bit more, but obviously if you can't afford a new motorcycle, you can't afford a new motorcycle. But I mean, there's lots of financing options and stuff like that, and you know, everybody likes to be in debt, so, but anyway, if you can't afford a new motorcycle, you can't afford a new motorcycle, so you're probably going to want to pay attention mostly to the used part of this. And I mean, just because you can't afford a new motorcycle now doesn't mean you're never ever going to buy one. I mean, I've been riding for quite a few years. This is the first motorcycle that I bought new, this 2017 FZ09. And, you know, it was always a dream to buy a new bike, and I did. And one day, if you have that dream, if you, you know, work hard, you'll hopefully one day exceed your expectations, buy a new motorcycle, and then maybe this video will help you. So, yeah, so we kind of touched on it there, but that's the first thing that, I guess the first pro versus con of who and what. Obviously price is a big differentiator between, new and used. There's people out for a walk, it's a nice day. Lots of people at the beach down there. I get distracted pretty easy. Anyways, price being a big differentiator between buying new and used. Obviously new bikes are expensive. Obviously, used bikes are cheaper. So, if you know, if a new bike isn't in your price range, you're probably going to go used. But that being said, there are a couple things that people don't realize when comparing the price of a new motorcycle to the price of a used motorcycle. And the biggest one that I find is it's kind of comes into play when you're buying a used motorcycle that's not too far off from new value, maybe like a year or two old bike, and people think, oh God, it's $3,000 cheaper than new, so why wouldn't I? And there's a couple things that I would take into consideration there. If you're buying, let's use some hypothetical numbers. Say you're looking at a bike that's used and it's $8,000 and the new one is $10,000. So that puts it pretty close, and then you're going to yourself, well, is that $2,000 worth? Am I going to get $2,000 worth of value from buying a new bike versus a used bike? And there's no real easy yes or no answer to that. There's a couple factors. And the first thing is, I mean, obviously with a new bike you get warranty. And with a used bike, I mean, if it's a couple years old already, it's probably off warranty. I mean, there's a good chance, not a good chance, but there is a chance that you could be riding it and the engine could blow up, and then you're looking at a really big bill to, you know, fix it, and then all of a sudden you're going to be kicking yourself in the butt saying, oh geez, I should have bought new. And you know, most 9 out of 10 times the guy's going to buy a used bike and you're not going to have any issues with it, and you're going to pat yourself on the back for buying a used bike. It's all risk versus reward, what you're willing to risk to save a couple bucks now, et cetera, et cetera. Another thing that I like to talk about, well, first of all, you guys are only going to get this view today because, being the dummy that I am, I hooked this camera up and I left the card for that camera sitting on my desk, so it has no card in it. But anyway, the second thing I want to talk about is saving tax dollars. When you buy, this only kind of comes in when you're trading in a bike, but when I talk trades, like if I was going to trade this bike in for a new one, what I would be talking is the difference. I want to talk about out the door difference. I don't want to talk about, you know, difference, and then I don't like comparing prices. If they're like the new bike is 11, but they'll give me 6 for my old bike, so I'm spending $5,000. That's the difference. And then what I like to do is talk out the door difference, because I don't like fees and shenanigans that the dealerships, or the stealerships, if you want to call them that, like to tack on at the end of a sale. When I say, am I paying for this bike out the door? I'm talking taxes in, PDI, freight, dock fees, whatever other bullshit I'll say that the dealers come up with to charge you. I like to talk a big round number, because I really don't give a fuck where my money is going. I don't care. I need to know how much it costs, and I don't care how much is going to a dock fee and how much is going to freight and how much is going to PDI. I'm just going to go here because there's traffic not letting these people through. So, anyways, I don't care how it's divvied up. I just care how much the bike costs. So I like to talk out the door price, and I like to talk difference in regards to trade value. A lot of dealerships like to play shell games, like the sticker price on this bike is $12, and we're going to give you $5 for your bike, and then add on a bunch of shit. Or you can go to another dealer who says, okay, well, I'll sell you this bike for $10, but I'm only going to give you $3 for your bike, and it's the same price, but it's just laid out different. And that's why I like to talk difference out the door. So hypothetically, if I was to want to upgrade this bike, and let's say the difference between this, I'm going to talk random numbers, but okay, I'll value this bike at $8,000. The new bike I want is $10,000. So the first thing to think about is, like I said, is that worth it? And the second thing to think about is that's not really what the difference is. If I'm getting a new bike for $10,000 out the door, and this bike is worth $8,000 trade-in, I'm also saving tax on $8,000 trading this bike in. So in this province that I live in, at 11%, that's $880 off of the tax that I would be saving. So that all of a sudden takes my out-the-door price of the $10,000 bike down to $9,120. So, and then I'm looking at a bike going, well, okay, I have this bike. Now all of a sudden I'm just coming to terms with $1,120 versus $2,000. So there's things like that you have to look out for. And if this doesn't make sense to you guys, feel free to ask me questions in the comments, and I'll clarify it as best I can. But that's something to think in regards to trade. If you don't have a motorcycle, that's obviously not relevant to you. But anyways, I kind of touched on it a little bit. Warranty, breakdowns, yada yada. The biggest thing about buying a used bike is you never know. You never know. It's a cost thing and a safety thing. I don't know if Joe Schmo, who owned the bike before me, knew how to torque an axle nut, and next thing you know, I might be going down the road. It might even be when I'm driving home, the back wheel could fall off, I could skid, I could crash, I could get seriously hurt. So I mean, I've bought used bikes before, obviously, and I just make sure to go through them. And if you're a less mechanically inclined person, then all of a sudden buying a new bike is way more appealing to you, because you don't necessarily know what to look for on a bike, what to avoid, what to know, what to check, etc., etc. So there's obviously that big boost to buying new for you. Oh, that was Matt, my buddy Matt there. So buying new gives you that peace of mind with warranty. It also gives you somebody who stands behind their product. Once a vehicle is off warranty, like this bike, for example, I have warranty on it. If something happens with it, Yamaha should care. Everybody's experience is different with dealers and manufacturers and stuff, but Yamaha should care, and they should want to fix the issues that come up. If you're buying a used bike, obviously you are on your own. It's off warranty. Basically, the manufacturer isn't going to care, and a dealer is only going to care if you're paying them to care. So, yeah. A little bit of downtown Saskatoon action here. So a couple things those are kind of the main big factors: buying new versus buying used, price, warranty, standing behind their product. If you're buying used, a lot of times you also have to consider the value of the other things you're getting with the bike. A lot of people who sell their used bikes throw in a helmet and a jacket and maybe some saddlebags or You know, maybe it has an aftermarket exhaust, maybe it has a windshield on it, maybe it has different signals that you really like, maybe it has signals that you don't really like. These are all things that play into, you know, your decision to buy the motorcycle. So those are all things that you need to pay attention to. I've found a lot of times that, you know, if somebody's got a saddlebags and they put a windshield and exhaust on it, they're not really asking any more money than the bike would be priced at without any of that stuff. I mean, comparable bikes, used bikes, sometimes you'll get a whole bunch of stuff thrown in just so somebody can sell their motorcycle, and that can sometimes add up to $2,000-$3,000 worth of value just in bonuses. So that's something to think about. And yeah, I like this bridge. Don't tell the cops, but I like to do wheelies on it sometimes. I don't really want to break another mount. Last time I was doing a wheelie with my little camera mount there, and it just, when I set it down kind of hard, it just snapped off. So I don't know, maybe there's a wheelie vid in the future, but I don't think it's today, because I'm going to break my mount off. Yeah. Another big thing I wanted to say, I probably should have said this at the beginning of the video, but the responses I'm getting on my videos is huge. Like, it's way more than I thought it was going to be. And I really want to thank all my new subscribers, and I want to thank everybody that's given me a like. You might not think it does much, but taking that second out of your life really helps content creators out. So there's my spiel. And thanks to everybody. Thank you for watching this. Thanks for everything. That girl's probably looking at me going like, what's this crazy guy doing, waving his hands around, talking himself. It's a nice little Cadillac. There's stuff going on downtown, I tell you. And yeah, buying new, buying used. That's kind of what there is to know. Now, as far as actually buying, if you buy a new bike, you shouldn't have to check anything. I mean, the bike should have been assembled by competent individuals. There's a convertible GT500 there. The bike should have been assembled by competent individuals. The bike should be road ready. It's kind of why you buy from a dealer, so that you know this stuff, as well as buying used from a dealer. Hey, Copper. As well as buying used from a dealer, you kind of pay a little bit of a premium buying used from a dealer, but you get something in return, and that should be roadworthiness. You shouldn't have to worry about it, and again, you should have a dealer that stands behind the product that you bought. I'm really good at losing my train of thought. So yeah, buying a new bike, it's obviously roadworthy, etc., etc. Another thing you get, buying used, you know, it might need some parts, it might be slightly blemished, it might be something. There's almost always a hidden cost in buying a used motorcycle, unless it's like a real low-K, extremely well taken care of bike. You might get lucky and not have any issues, but there's almost always some expense to it. I mean, there's almost always something that you overlook, just a little something that ends up costing you maybe $5, maybe a couple $100 when buying a bike, I find. So yeah, this is what I think about new and used. I made the choice to buy a new motorcycle, and I like having the kind of worry-free, you know, mentality of, if something goes wrong with my bike, it's not going to cost me a bunch of money, but it already did cost me a bunch of money, so it's a trade-off. So I think that's probably going to wrap this one up. And yeah, if you guys want to ask me anything, like I kind of consider myself a fairly knowledgeable motorcycle enthusiast. If you guys want to pick my brain about anything, go ahead and do it down there in the comment section. I don't have, you know, I'm getting a ton of views versus what I expected, but it's still not a ton. So I mean, I got lots of time to answer your guys' questions and respond and interact with the community. So let's get it going. Let's talk about stuff. And yeah, if there's anything I missed, let me know. If there's anything you guys would like to see me talk about, pick my brain about, if there's some interest, maybe I'll do a motovlog about a certain subject, or if there's, a certain mod you'd like reviewed or something like that, you guys just go ahead and let me know. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. This is Too Tired. Peace out! And maybe a little bit less of a stupid exit. Peace out! Just kidding. I thought when I started filming this motovlog, I thought that I'd have a little bit more time to discuss the actual things to look for when buying a used motorcycle, what to look for, what to avoid, what to check, etc. I kind of ran out of time with this one, but if you guys have anything specific you'd like to ask me, do it in the comments. And if there's enough interest, I will do a whole video on buying a used motorcycle and tell you guys what I think is most important to check for, to look for. Or maybe I'll do a blog about it or something. But yeah, for now, you guys will just have to ask me in the comments if anything particular you want to know. So, again, thanks for watching. Peace out.